Hey folks, this is Matt Rainwater, and today we're going to be reading episode 90 of Trailer Park Warlock. And in this episode, we're picking up right where we left off, and we're going to talk about Jake's new roommate, Dutch, the penguin. That's Dutch. Long story. He's staying with me for a while till things cool down in Antarctica, I guess. What happened in Antarctica? Well, any staged a revolution or something with all the pawns in the En Passant kingdom. The Penguin Revolution got rid of everybody who wasn't a pawn, and well, poor Dutch was just a bishop working in service of the crown before he got tied up with a Reese. So Dutch sure as hell can't go back to Antarctica or he'd have his head on a stake for sure. So I just set up, I don't know, I wanted to do this to make sure it was clear for people what was the relationship between Reese and the penguin. So now we know for sure, right? But yeah, I agreed to keeping Dutch around till Reese comes back from whatever the hell he was up to. Huh. Alright, man. Well, how about I plant this thing for you? That'd be great. Where's good? Why not here? If it turns out to be a tree, I could use the shade in the afternoon. Crump. Took me a while to figure out a sound effect for what dirt might sound like if it's being dug up by a Sasquatch, and that's the best I could come up with, is crump. Do I water it? Tomorrow evening would be good. The soil's real moist tonight already. Alright. Hey, Herman? Want to grab a drink with me at Bev's? Sure. Hold the fort, buddy. I'll be back later. Sir, yes, sir. So I've been messing around and figuring new ways I can use sound effects to imply motion, which I'm very proud of myself. Forgive me. Yeah, I really like the way that turned out in this panel as they're driving off. Trailer Park Warlock, Raw Evocation. So we're going to talk about that for a moment. Jake, Herman. Darla was just telling me about what happened in Pueblo. Oh yeah, you alright, Darla? I think so. Still don't really know what got into me that night, but I'm glad that Reese guy was able to stop it. Gotta say, you had me real spooked for a bit there. Sorry, Jake. Do you have any idea what could have happened to me? Looked like you had a raw evocation. The hell's that? So, before we move on, there's one thing I want to reveal to y'all. You can see the painting in the background, and you're only ever gonna see it, the full thing, in this video. So, there you go. There's a little Doge Easter egg for you. You and the sigil weren't seeing eye to eye on your task. Maybe you misused it? Best way I can put it, Darla, is that your sigil was in the driver's seat that night. I saw it happen to my gran once. She thought she was a diesel engine for about a week. Kinda remember that week, actually, Jake. But I've never had a problem using the Wheel of Abandon before. I only did one thing differently that night, and I didn't think it would make that big of a difference. What did you do? I used it on my left hand instead of my right. Why? I was just thinking about something Pontu had told me about using different hands for your sigils. I don't... Alright. Here we go. Here's my Pontu voice. I have not prepared for it at all, so forgive me. Do you know the significance? Do you not know the significance? A sigil's placement makes all the difference, mon ami. The right hand commands the external. The left commands the internal. To free myself of that wretched curse, I use the left to transform my spirit and manifest my highest will. Sounds more Spanish, my accent. I'm gonna work on my French accent. I'm sorry, y'all. That's what I was trying to do in Pueblo. I was just going on what Pontu said. I was gonna have my highest will there for the fight. I don't know about all that crap Pontu was saying, Darla. Nobody in the Union believes that stuff. Slap it on your ass cheeks and it works just the same, as Gran would say. I think something else was going on. Well, whatever the case, I'm doing fine now. Just feel bad for scaring you and those kids. Some of them kids could probably use a little fear of God all the same. Glad to hear you're okay, Darla. Yeah, water under the bridge now. Bev, how about a couple rounds of shots tonight? Do you understand what you're asking, Jake? I really like this expression on Jake's face. It was fun. Guess I'll be carrying you home tonight then. Come on, it's just a couple of shots. Ain't nothing. I want to close up soon, so one. I'll take what I can get. This round's on me, by the way. Here's to still kicking. We've made it this far. I'll drink to that. Cheers. And so we see that Darla still has the Will of Abandon on her palm. Clink. Bev's place. It took me a while to figure out. Originally, I wanted this to be like 11-7 or some other, variant of those numbers. And I found out that, because I didn't want to bother with, having to deal with the possibility of copyright infringement or whatever, but there are a lot of, small convenience stores who do that already. So I just went with mixing two things together, which was during my time in Oregon, there was this one convenience store chain called Plaid Pantry. So I just mixed the ideas of 7-Eleven with Plaid Pantry and came up with Pantry 12. Y'all got fish sticks, ma'am? And so we see Jake looking at some fish sticks. Beep. Alright, Dutch. I dropped by the store on the way back. Wonk? Is anybody still holding tarot cards out there? Don't worry, I can keep a secret. So I guess Dutch just likes to watch late night talk shows. There you go. Wonk, wonk. Old salty halibut fish sticks. The official fish sticks of Trailer Park Warlock. Just keep it down, alright? I've got an early morning tomorrow. Flump. Stay tuned. Tonight we'll be speaking with Shantae North about her latest album and hear her new controversial hit, Hyperlantis Rising. That's all right after the break. Yum yum. And then Jake falls asleep. Alright, here comes one of my favorite parts in this episode. Did you know there could be millions of dollars that the Masonry owes you? You could be paying thousands of dollars in taxes you don't owe. Munch, munch. Say goodbye to all your money problems. Greetings, this is Charlie Setsko. It is assured, with the secrets held in this book, you can take the fight back to Washington and finally live in prosperity. With the knowledge contained in this book, untold treasures await you, one and all. With my tax refund, I bought this nuclear stockpile. Now I'm living my best life. So, for those of y'all who don't know, he's still alive. There was this guy by the name of Matthew Lesko who made this. I can't remember if it was a series of books or it was just one book, but it was about somehow finding all the appropriate tax loopholes to get a bunch of money back from the IRS. And he wore these really outlandish suits that made him kind of look like the Riddler from the Batman comics. And so I'm just playing off of it because all of Matthew Lesko's suits had question marks all over them, which was always why. I never quite understood what the point of that was. So with Charlie Setsko, it's exclamation marks. So that's Set's new grift, basically. And now we transition to the next morning. Ain't you a sight for sore eyes? You know, the horse thing doesn't bother me so long as... Oh. Wonk. And so we see Jake waking up. Holy, that was fast. Buddy, you guarded that thing with your life, all right? I'm off to work. You hold down the fort. Sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Baker. My mom made you a quiche. Well, hell, ain't that generous. Thank you kindly, Candace. She asked me to tell you thanks for saving my daughter. Is this some kind of egg pie or something? Well, anyway, hey, before y'all run off, I got an important question. Yeah? Did y'all get rid of all them cards? And so we will talk about that again next week. All right. So here is your tarot of the week. It's the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles represents conservation. For those of y'all who trade stocks, this is the official tarot card of HODL. So in other words, hold on for dear life. It usually represents inheritance, some form of you are holding on to your resources and you're not letting go of them. It could be viewed in a positive or negative light. Either you're hoarding too much, or at this moment you're making wise decisions for your financial investment. But it's often viewed in the more negative light as you're consumed a little too much by your financial conservation, and it's having a negative impact. So anyway, if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so. On Twitter, it's at Matt J. Rainwater. Instagram, at Matthew Rainwater. On Patreon, it's patreon.com/Matt J. Rainwater, and YouTube, Matt J. Rainwater. Finally, I did want to say one more thing in regards to this episode that kind of flew my mind that I wanted to bring up, which is that this is the first episode I tried a new technique, which was I'm not using digital brushes anymore. I'm just using, I basically am taking my pencils and I run it through a filter on Photoshop that just aliases the line, so it's just black and white. And I am, over the course of reading this episode, I have been pretty happy with it. I think it's actually working pretty well, and I'm very surprised. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, but basically, this technique has saved me a lot of time and will make it easier for me to draw this comic in the future. I've been trying to figure out some new techniques to draw faster, to get more work done more efficiently. Not just so I can do more stuff, but so I can also, take a break, right? Because, I do have a goal of being able to have a good work-life balance, and so I can have something a little closer to, 9 to 5 as opposed to, I actually have to wake up before 9 in the morning in order for that to be feasible. But if you understand what I'm saying, I'm trying to turn working into Trailer Park Warlock closer to an 8-hour job instead of sometimes it's 6 hours and then other days it's 12 hours. And those 12-hour days can take a lot out on me. So anyway, that's just a little snippet or a little piece of trivia to give you an idea of some stuff going on behind the scenes and how I'm working on this comic, how I'm changing up my work process. And I'll have more to say on it too as we go along. Anyway, if you're enjoying these videos, please like them. Love it if you could subscribe, share, etc. I enjoy doing this with y'all, and I will see y'all again next week. And also, leave a comment if you're enjoying these. All right? Talk to you later.